Hey, it's Mercy from Dal Riata here. Today I'm going to make a video about gold. So I'm going to talk about the gold as a currency in Guilds of War, how to get gold, the best ways or the ways you should be really concentrating on before the other ways that you can get it, and how to reach that magic gold requirement. And for our guild at the moment, that minimum gold requirement is 300,000 gold. So today that's pretty much what I'm going to speak about. I'll talk about it and kind of how you should be approaching it. So in chronological order, starting from reset. When you start reset, you get a little bit of cash or a little bit of gold left over from the previous week as it's split up between the guild. So that's anywhere between a couple of thousand and 5,000. So that's a little bit of a contribution, and think about that as just putting it straight back into the guild. So there's 5,000, let's say. Then you should be going straight to your glory spending. So you go to, here it's the Festival of the Sun this week, so whatever your event is, there will be a card associated with that. And you go to the shop, and this is where you spend your glory. As you can see there, I've got a bit of glory to spend. I've already bought the Child of Summer this week, and I've already ascended it to Mythic. I aim to do that every week. I don't even care whether it's a good card or a bad card. The Child of Summer this week actually happens to be a fantastic card. It's going to be replacing Taipan really, because it does exactly the same thing, turns brown to red, but it actually creates a firestorm every time you fire it. So it's a wonderful card. I try to get enough copies of it to get to Mythic every week, because then it makes getting your power levels in your kingdom up much easier. So, and it's the cheapest way to ascend a card, and you get all the trait stones as well. There's another box there which for 180 glory you get an event key, a bunch of other stuff, and 500 gold. So buy 10 copies of that, so that's 1,800 glory. Gives you 5,000 gold, so bang, we're up to 10,000 gold, and we're 30 seconds into the new week. Then you go to cash in your event keys, hopefully get some of those Child of Summer cards. Then you go to the event shop, buy several tiers of that, or as many tiers as you're going to buy for the week with your gems. You'll get more of those Child of Summer cards there, and then you come back and you'll see how many cards you need to ascend, how many troops you need to ascend the troops that you already have. So you won't have to buy as many as you think, but let's just say you buy 10. That's probably on average. You end up buying more if it's a 300 glory epic card, ultra rare card. You buy less if it's an epic card because it costs less to go up those levels. But on average, you probably spend you probably buy about 10 cards, and that's about 50,000 gold. I mean, there have been times where I've bought way more, so I've got 100,000 or even 150,000 gold at this point. There are other times I've spent a bit less, but on average it's about 50. I'll call it about 50,000 gold you get from spending glory here. So, hooray! We're already up to 60,000, and we're only now about 3 minutes into the week. So this is really worth doing. It's worth doing even if you buy multiple copies of the troops, because you get arcane trait stones, which are completely worth the glory in themselves, without including the card and without including the 5,000 gold. I also love getting all the glory keys, so buy 10 or 20 of these, and there's 40 glory keys is fantastic, because those are keys that to me represent chances at getting the new mythic at the end of the month, or the beginning of the new month. So we're 60,000 gold into 3 minutes into the new week. So the next thing I want to talk about, you always do that. The next thing you do is you go do your dailies, and I've got a video on this. So your dailies include the daily adventures, and down here the dungeons, and those are 12 fights that you really have to do every day. And I've talked about why you do them. Go and watch that video. I'm not going to talk about it again here, but let's say in mid to low level you average a couple of thousand gold a fight, so there's 25,000 gold that you're going to get every day from doing this. So let's call that 75,000. Let's make the maths easy. Let's make it even cheaper. So let's say that's 140,000 a week. We're up to 200,000 gold already in those two methods, and that's doing your dailies and your glory spending. And the dailies really, when you use the team that I talk about in the other video, if you use that Rowan team, your dailies really only take about 5 or 6 minutes to do. When we're not looking at a significant time commitment to get that much gold. So the other thing you do, the next thing you should do is you do PvP and get from tier 14 down to tier 1, and you can do that throughout the week. You can have the whole week to do it. Don't stress about doing it on the first day. There's no particular advantage to racing down to tier 1, I think. Early on, maybe there is. I guess somebody can correct me on that, but I usually sort of meander through it on the week, so long as I get there. There's probably about 30 fights to get there, maybe a couple more, maybe a few more. If you're looking at 30 fights at 2,000 to 4,000, I get about 7,000 a fight. It all depends. All depends on whether I'm going for the 1 trophy fights on the left or the 3 trophy fights on the right. The 1 trophies are faster because they're easier and you win more of them, and the 3 trophy fights on the right are more difficult. You lose some and they take more time and require better teams, and you have to think about what you're doing, so they take longer. So there's a bit of a trade-off between the two. I'm not sure whether it's better to go faster and easier or slower with more rewards. Just do what's fun. But you end up, if you're going from tier 14 down to 1, you end up getting anywhere between 120 and 250, depending on your level and depending on your kingdom level and depending on a bunch of other things. So if you're sort of my sort of level, you're probably getting more around 250,000. So you'll notice that I've already well exceeded that 300,000 guild requirement, gold requirement for the guild, based on these 3 strategies of getting gold. If you're a lower level, you'll be on the lesser side, but you're still getting pretty close to that 300,000 about now. So these 3 strategies don't take much time. You do them every week and you'll get that minimum requirement, and that is why I've chosen this amount of gold as the minimum requirement to be in this guild. Okay, because these tasks are pretty easy to do, they don't require much time. Everybody should be doing them, and you should be doing them really for the benefit of the other parts of the game and the things you're going to get for it. Now there are other things you can do. The next best thing you can do after this is delves. So you can't do it until you're down in the underworld, but everybody in our guild should be. There should be nobody who hasn't unlocked the underworld. And there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either farm a faction, which what that means is you try and keep that faction on level 20. Now I haven't done that with any of them because I've moved off that strategy now. When you're lower level, it's a good strategy to do, because if you're tight for time, haven't got good troops, haven't got your faction hordes up high, faction assaults or delves can take quite a long time. So you really want to be thinking about speed. Pardon me. So it's good to have a low level delve sitting around level 20 that you can do really fast. And the way you do that is you don't level it up during faction assaults. You just keep one of them at level 20. Now I super suggest that the City of Thieves is the one you farm if you're going to farm one. There is another one to farm, and that would be the Mirrored Halls, and that's because they have the most treasure rooms. So the Mirrored Halls has 4 treasure rooms. The City of Thieves has 3 treasure rooms. You get your most gold from those 2 delves, so concentrate on those 2 delves. Now, a better strategy, so if you do farm guilds, you're keeping them at level 20, you're doing them, you get 3 free delves a day. If you do all 3 a day, don't get any extra rewards at the end in your chest. You probably get about 50,000 gold a day, and that's just from the fights. And you've got to do your fights properly though, so you've got to get your treasure room multiplier up first before opening your treasure rooms. So you do your difficult fights before you do your treasure rooms. If you're doing the City of Thieves, you have a look first when you enter the City of Thieves. I can't really show you without starting a delve, but if you're lucky, one of your treasure rooms is Cedric's Hideaway. Do that first, because getting Cedric's Hideaway increases the maximum number of gold that you can earn from any one fight, and gives you a much bigger overall gold reward during that delve. So if you do 3 City of Thieves delves a day on level 20, you probably get about 50,000 gold, and that's if you don't get lucky and get any gold in the final guild chest, final treasure chest. If you do get gold in the final treasure chest, the amount of gold in that treasure chest is determined by the level of the delve, and by your level, and by the level of your kingdoms, and by the number of bonuses you've got, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So for instance, if I got really lucky and got some gold in my treasure chest, I can get anywhere between 22 and 99,000. But this happens irregularly. So it doesn't happen every day, it might happen every 2 days. But sometimes I've got lucky and got 3 lots of gold, sort of about 50,000 in a day. So I've earned, done my 3 delves and got a couple of 100,000 gold in one day when I'm lucky. Most days I'm not lucky though and get none extra, so earn about 50,000. But if you're talking about over a week, that's 350,000 gold over a week. If I'm not lucky, if I'm moderately lucky, I'll get maybe 450, 500, 600,000. If I'm super lucky, it could be any amount. So delves are a little bit random, massive rewards, more money here than anything else, lots more time commitment, lots more difficult. I suggest the strategy of when you attack your delves, don't just farm them, don't just go low, go high. So do the best level you can to get your gold multiplier higher. So here my best delve defeat is 130. If I go in and choose a delve now, I would choose to do the next one up, which would be 140, in which case I would get ×2 treasure multiplier. So that's what I would do, and I would get more gold. So totally suggest using golds as a strategy. Massively time consuming, not a strategy for the faint-hearted, but this is the most rewarding strategy that you can employ. Other strategies include explores, and hitting level 1 explores is a great thing to do on gnome weekends. Gets you gnome vault keys, which are a great way to get money. Gnome drops are fantastic. On a gnome weekend, go on level 1 or 2 difficulty and just go round and round and round and round and round and do tons of them. This is really nice because this gets me to show something else, which is the Mythstone bonus. So when you do explores, chase the Mythstone. So see this explorer at the moment has a Mythstone bonus. So for that cycle of an explore, there's an increased chance of getting that particular Mythstone, which is really good. So on level 1, it means you can get a Mythstone, which is really, really good. So you get 20% more Mythstones, which is really good in getting the trait stones. So chase the Mythstones, you get the trait stones faster. So anything with a little, what looks like a lighthouse to me, I don't know what it is, but chase them around. They shift around after each explore you do. So that's another strategy. There's challenges, there's gold you can get in each of the challenges that you eventually do have to do to get your levels up, power levels of your kingdoms up. So you can get gold from challenges. You get passive gold from events. So join in guild events. So there's a Tower of Doom coming at the moment. There's the Festival of the Sun, which we'll just go and have a look at, and I'll show you how much you get from that. But just by participating, actually I don't even know if you even have to participate. You might even just have to be part of the guild. So if you're part of the guild, click on rewards and click collect. You are going to collect out of this reward probably about 50,000 gold. So 1, 2, 4, so that's 7, there's 13, what are we up to, 21, 31, 41, 43,000. So 43,000 gold you will get just by being in the guild and pushing that rewards tag. If you participate in it, then good on you, because you make us more likely to finish stage 12. But you don't actually even have to do it to get the money. You have to participate in the raid boss, and I think you have to participate in the Tower of Doom to get the rewards. But there's another way. So that's a simple way to get some money. Now faction assaults are just ways of doing extra delves every Tuesday on the reset for the day. There's an event that starts a faction assault. and that gives you 4 free sigils in, for delves to spend on a particular faction. You can kill ravens and get more of them. I reckon on average I would do probably 10 delves on a Tuesday night. Some nights I get particularly crazy and do maybe 20. Others I maybe do 5. So on average maybe doing 10. So 10 delves nets probably 150,000 gold. If I'm not lucky and get those chests at the end, if I am, can be anywhere up to about 500,000 gold I'll get from a faction assault. If I really go hard on that faction assault, get lots of ravens, really concentrate on it, buy lots of levels, I can get up to 700,000. So that's in one night. So it's a massive time commitment, but huge time commitment on the faction assault, but an opportunity to get an awful lot of gold. And that's pretty much it. So, like I said, there are gnome weekends. Hit the gnome weekends really hard. If you haven't got a gnome weekend, you still get money going round and round doing explores. Explores are an excellent way to get gold. You will see YouTube videos about setting up gold farming teams, and then just going round and round on low-level PvP or round and round on low-level explores. I don't do any of that. You get enough from the ways that I've mentioned. I am going to mention one more thing because it's related to gold. So there was a bit of a discussion on our chat this week about deeds and epic tasks. Actually, I'm going to leave that to another video. So if you want to know about that topic, you can go and have a look at another video. I'm going to leave tonight. Just leave those different methods for gold. As you heard from my description there, it is actually really easy to get that 300,000 topic. You just have to be dedicated. You just have to be systematic about it. You just have to do things daily, and it doesn't take very long. If you want lots more gold, then you have to hit those events. You have to hit those delves. But really, the strategy where you do the weekly glory, you do the daily tasks, the adventure tasks, and the dungeon. You do those daily, and you get your PvP tier down from 14 to 1, and that'll give you enough money. So go well. See you in the events.